Okay, this segment is entitled John McCain is no George Bush. Obama is no John McCain. I've recently had the experience of watching Obama on TV with the volume down. I was on the cell phone and I had to turn down the volume on the TV so I could finish my call. And it was during that time that it came to me. I saw it because there was no volume. And what I saw was a preacher. I saw a preacher. The cadence, the body movement, the language. If you watch him without the volume, you're looking at a preacher. And that indicates to me that preachers made an indelible impression on this man. And that's okay. Of course, it depends on what type of preacher. If you were going to Islamic fundamentalists in the Middle East and listen to those preachings, maybe those would not be the type of preachings that you'd want to observe or be a part of. Well, let's talk about Reverend Wright. Obama wrote a book based on his adulation of this man, and then was forced out of attending the church only after public outcry. Otherwise, he would still be sitting in that pew today, listening to Reverend Wright, had that not been brought to the forefront. And it wasn't brought to the forefront by any of the liberal press. I think ABC had a small bite on it, but really Fox News opened it up. And then about 7 days later, matter of fact, I had Democratic friends that I knew that when that controversy came out, 3 days afterwards, said, "What are you talking about? I didn't hear anything about it." So what you're looking at is a cadence, kind of like a rehearsed format of delivering your speech or your content that's infectious. Obama will get up there and he'll say, "America needs change. America needs hope. And hope and change are going to be brought to the people under my administration. Americans in the cities need to hope that they can have change. And I spent my time working as a community organizer in Chicago. I brought hope. I brought change. And it's time to make the change for America and bring respect back to America. America has lost its appeal worldwide. America has fallen from the top. America is lacking in social education. We need to know what the people of the world expect of America." And it's just like a preacher, and the substance isn't there, but it's sexy, it's pretty, no tie. Let's talk about Michelle Obama. Go to Politico.com, everybody. I want everybody out there to read her thesis. I can't say the content in this video because just restating what she said in there would make me appear to be a racist. So I can't even say what's in there. This woman ran around with Mother Farrakhan in the Rainbow Push Coalition, which is an activist group out of Chicago, a nonprofit group. Push means People United to Save Humanity. When I looked inside the pictures and looked at those people, I didn't see anybody united to save humanity. I saw people united to push forth an agenda. And that's the subterfuge that's going on here. We have an agenda that is started as early as 1995 when William Ayers put together a party at his house with his wife that launched the political career of Obama. It just came out on the news today. They want to say, "Oh, Obama was 8 years old when William Ayers perpetrated those acts." Okay, how old was he when William Ayers had his political campaign party and started his career? How old was he then? So I'm hoping that America can not be duped by this George Bush McCain. All right, if that's the case, let me ask you a question. Is there one Republican in the entire Republican Party that has not been linked to George Bush. Guilt by association doesn't always work, because John McCain is no George Bush, and Barack Obama is no John McCain. It's time to look at everybody's body of work, their portfolio work, and that includes their wives. Go ahead, talk about McCain's wife, and she's rich, and whatever else you want to bring up on her. She did drugs when she was younger. She was in depression. Great, okay, bring it out there. But make sure you talk about Michelle Obama's thesis. If you're a 527 and you're listening to this, you got to do it. Somebody's got to put that thing out there in front of the American public. And when you realize what a deep disdain and hatred she has for a certain element, call it the white people if I must. I have many black friends. But what she has done in that thesis statement has eroded any chance I had of considering Obama for the presidency of the United States. We have to look at the candidate's body of work, their associations, their voting records, not just hope and change. Do you think hope and change is going to come out of a loss of the balance of power? We all know that too much power on one side or the other, regardless of which side it's on, is bad. So you might have 60 Senate seats there with the Senate, plus a democratically controlled Congress and a White House. And what you'll see is an increase in socialized agenda. In order to acquire and get all the votes, they have pandered to the less fortunate in the United States, promising to bring them something that they can't bring, especially when all of these big corporations that they're going to overtax or continue to increase taxes on start to move overseas. It's already happening. So they'll be trying to tax corporations that don't have businesses here. And what happens when they don't have businesses here? You have a very, very big decline in job growth. Factory workers, manufacturers. It's becoming too prohibitive to do business in the United States. So they're going to move overseas. And they're allowed to do it. Nothing we can do about it. And when that happens, and it's already too late, then you'll see some new legislation come in. You'll see, after 2 years from now, another short porch election, some Democrats will come out. We'll get some more Republicans back in there. Bottom line is the damage will already be done. So the election has got to be something that looks into the next decade, not at the past decade. Instead of looking back at George Bush and talking about George Bush, let's talk about this election. Let's talk about this decade. Let's talk about the next decade. And if you want to talk about anything that's present instead of past, let's bring up Chris Todd and Barney Franks. Let's have a subpoena on them. I wouldn't be surprised if the FBI was doing it right now. Let's talk about now, the here and the now, instead of the past. Don't believe in the rhetoric of John McCain and George Bush. John McCain is no George Bush. Barack Obama is no John McCain.